Out of order. Man, I've always wanted to do that. Out of order. We'll call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Becky, would you do the roll, please?
I sure will. Jim Sheeline,
Here.
Mike Book, Tom Kitson.
Present.
Sorry. Larry Mimini,
He's out in the
He's
hall.
here. He's out in the hall.
Tim Bivens,
Here.
Nancy Naylor,
Present.
Jennifer Dallas.
Here.
All right. Everybody have a chance to take a look and at the minutes. And we had a couple minutes from meetings. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve. Moved by Bivens, seconded by Naylor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Visitors. Jeremy, do you have anything for us? Charlie?
No, sir. Thanks, sir.
All right. Paul, Reed? Yeah. Keenan? Keen? Yep. Michael? Patty, Sarah? Stacy?
No.
Amy?
Really quick, just briefly,
Yeah.
good morning.
Good morning.
Just wanted to update you on going forward with the new case management system. We should have all of our numbers in less than 2 weeks. So when we get those, we'll meet with the team and decide what we're going to do.
Very good.
I just wanted to let you know that.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the update. Looking forward to that. Nancy? All right. We actually have a relatively light agenda this morning. Liam will ask Liam if he's got anything for Gregco when he gets back in. Nance, do you have an insurance committee meeting?
I do have a short report, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much. The Insurance Committee met on August 6th, our quarterly meeting. Our usual consultant, Angie, was unavailable at the last minute due to an emergency. So her department head took over and she gave a nice Zoom report on our status. There's just a couple of things to note that the coverage, the average membership increased by 8%. So that was really good for us. And the average age decreased by 1.5%, which is probably attributed to some new hires being younger and a couple of retirees. But she did make that note. And then in addition, the rate increase has come through for the next year, and it's 3.3%. So much better than last year. So we're doing really well. I also have asked.
That's actually really good news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've also asked Sarah to give a wellness committee report. She has great information and she does such a great job.
Yep. Super.
Good morning. I just have a quick update from the Wellness Committee. So this spring we did 2 lunch and learns. We had at the most recent one in May, we had about 12 or 13 employees. At the one in March, we had 17 employees. So it was very well received. We got a lot of good feedback about different topics. So the Wellness Committee is looking to do some more, maybe a fall and then a winter lunch and learn. We had trash pickup along our stretch of Rock Island Road between Nelson Road and Harmon Road. That was on May 18th. We had about 5 people help out with that. We are gearing up for biometrics. So we have biometrics dates both on Wednesdays this year, Wednesday, October 9th and Wednesday, October 16th. The committee met on Tuesday, so we're doing a lot of preparation for that, getting everything figured out as far as logistics and incentives and things of that nature. Then we're just waiting on Empower to get us the marketing materials to release to the employees so then they can begin to schedule their appointment. And it also has information on the tests provided and the additional tests that individuals can opt for. And then our next meeting is going to be November 19th at 2:00. If anybody is interested in joining, we always meet in the first floor conference room of the health department. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Nancy. All righty. Yes, great go. Thank you.
I do have a
No,
very
appreciate it.
small piece of information from Gretco. They applied for $30 million grant for railroad stuff into Lee County.
Oh,
So, but I don't know the details. It's something we should address it with Tom Demmer.
sure.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah, and I think
$30
Tom's
million
due,
grant,
is
yeah.
Tom due coming in? Was he last month or month before? So is he, yeah, so he should be due coming.
And they
so.
think they will receive it, so kind of good
Oh,
news.
fabulous.
Yeah, we have Tom coming in September.
in September. Super. Okay. Very good.
That's it.
That's it? All right. Monthly financials. Mr. Treasurer, good morning.
Thank you, sir. All right, so nothing special on a month-to-month basis here, but I do want to point out a couple items. You'll see in your cash balances that, they're still around $60 million, but remember, the agency at 42 is all of the property tax, and those will be having a distribution of about 30 to 35 million here next week. So that balance goes way down. The other thing I wanted to point out was on your revenue and expenses report. If you look at the bottom, we're sitting in a deficit of about 2.4 million. What that really means is we're outspending our revenues that are coming in so far. And we just need to be cautious in watching that. But one of the bigger things that'll be happening again is the property tax distribution, which will help us out. If you look at last year's comparison at this time, we were in a surplus of 115 million. So, or I'm sorry, 115,000. I know I said million, but I heard Reed just
That's a
about choke
deja
on-
vu from a previous.
Yeah, I
employer.
heard Reed just choke on that number, so. So, it's just something that we need to be cautious of and watching. I don't want us to get away from that before the year end. So, and as you know, if you look through that, revenues are pretty much right. Other than property tax, revenues are pretty much right where we had anticipated them. So we really need to be focusing on how we control spending.
So one the question that stuck out to me was the balance on the cash balances on the capital fund at $9.3 million. We've got, so we approved that expenditure to finish up across the street. That hasn't been taken. That's
That
not
is-
reflective there.
No, so if you look at that, there's a capital sheet right after your revenue and expense line. Yeah, there's a $2 million approval there for what we're looking to do with the HVAC yet out of capital. I think that the final number was around 1.2 million. We'll probably see that in September, which will reflect that balance, the cash balance, if you will be down around 7.4, 7.5 at that point, maybe a little lighter.
Mhm.
So, and then.
Which puts us much more, because it kind of stuck out from last year to this year,
Yeah.
So it'll put us back kind of more in line with where we were last year.
Yeah, so yes. And, as we know, we need to be looking at all avenues there too. So you'll be sitting at around 7.5 by the end of September, I would guess, in the capital under cash.
Any questions for the finance team?
And Reed is here if you guys had any questions regarding budgets. So I don't know if you'll talk about that later, but.
Well, we can do that. I mean, actually, we can do it now because we don't really have, other than we have an information item from the sheriff.
Yeah,
Why don't we go ahead and go through where we stand with the budget as of right now?
Okay, I'll let Reed go through that.
Sure.
So we have one more hearing scheduled for next week. The last few department heads are coming in to present their requests. As far as what we're looking to do at the moment, there's about a $1.5 million gap between what department heads requested for general fund money and where we anticipate the general fund revenues to be for next year. So we are looking to trim where we can and have discussions with department heads about where there's a possibility of potentially trimming some expenditures, as well as Jim, as you pointed out to the department heads that have gone through the hearings, where can we potentially use restricted fund balances that maybe we haven't looked at in the past for some of your expenditures. So that is kind of where we're at. We'll get through the last hearings next week. And then I believe we have a kind of a follow-up meeting. And that's when we'll start seeing where we can cut.
In other words, the fun part of the budget process
The
is
puzzle.
coming to a close.
Yeah.
And the hard work begins.
Yep.
So, yeah. And, you know, as I asked the committee to kind of keep that in mind as we go through the last budget day. Because, you know, where what we did, and I've said this a number of times, way we were able to make last year's budget was that we really tightened up our revenue projections, which we did. And to Paul and Reed's credit, you know, we're going to be nailing revenue, you know, really close. What the bad side of that means is that there's not the wiggle room that we've had in the past to bring the budget together, and it just makes our job tougher. And so that's what we're faced with. So yeah, I guess that's all I've got to say on that. Any questions for Paul or Reed? All right. And I neglected to say, we have a new face at the table and want to welcome Jennifer Dallas. Appreciate it. I asked Jennifer to come over and help us with our participation on the finance committee. And she was gracious enough to say yes. She did answer my phone call, answered the phone call. And that's always a wonderful thing. Yeah, she probably will never answer another call from me ever again. But anyway, welcome to the Finance Committee, Jennifer, and we look forward to working with you. So, any old business? Any new business? We have, as I pointed out, we have the report from the sheriff. He's not here this morning. I don't know if there's any questions or comments in regards to his report. I think this is going to be one of my shortest finance committee. I could tell stories for the next 15 minutes. Okay, never mind. Is there any and I always follow the former senator's guidance, right? Any other comments or contributions from other board members? Oh, and I neglected to say good morning to Allie Husk. Thank you for being here, Allie, with us this morning. Do you have anything for us this morning?
No, thank you.
All right, thanks, Allie. Appreciate you being here. Yep. Yes.
Comment.
Oh,
As we're going forward with the budget process, I think it's important to state for anybody perhaps watching this or, you know, we always talk about cuts. I like to use the term balance. Revenues and expenditures have to balance. And that's where we're headed. So it's not about, I mean, a lot of people, that's a negative connotation that we have to make cuts. Well, we may have to, but it's all about balancing what we're spending against what we have coming in. It's a pretty simple process, really. Something the state's never understood, but I just want to, yeah, I would rather put this in a positive direction than a negative direction as we, you know, oh, we have to cut. Well, yeah, we may have to do that, but it's about balancing the budget. And we have a legal and moral responsibility to do that. And I think the county's done that very well. So it's not always pleasant, but something that needs to be done.
yep. I appreciate those comments. All right. I have nothing else. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Laram, seconded by Kitson. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion carried. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.